Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I want to talk about guitar gear, and that some of it's really expensive and that some of it's really not, and that overall that doesn't really matter. I was fortunate enough to get to attend NAMM 2024 this year with my band Train Zero. If you're not familiar with us, feel free to give us a look on Spotify or whatever is your proclivity. But yeah, we got to go, and I'm super glad I got to go because NAMM has been this kind of mythical place in my guitar universe that I've always seen online every January when all the new, YouTube channels come out and show all the new stuff. And I got to be a part of that this year, and I'm super thankful. And as you could expect, I tried a lot of freaking guitars. I got to try stuff all the way down from, $200 import models to four-figure custom shop one-off things, and it kind of showed me a lot about gear and how just because something's really expensive doesn't mean it's the right thing for me. Or for you. And that's just kind of what I want to do. I just kind of want to open up a discussion about what people think about super expensive gear versus, the gear that is good enough. And kind of what do you think about that? I don't know if it's the case for everyone out there, but in my personal guitar journey, there's always been someone in my circle who's like, you gotta have that Strat, or you gotta get a PRS, or you gotta get a whatever to kind of fully round out your collection and fully capture the spectrum of your playing and creativity as a player. And if you don't have that, you're like missing out on something. And I used to have that kind of grandmaster list of all these things I wanted to have. I still do, but it's different now and kind of more tailored to what I know I like and think is cool. But there's such this like marketing push, not necessarily by companies, but by like other players, that like these super high-end, high-spec things are like the be-all, end-all of a guitar's possibility to make you a good player or like bring out the best in you. There's a lot of these legendary examples like the 59 Les Paul or like an Ibanez Prestige or like a PRS 10 Topwood Library or a Tufel or something crazy like that. There's all these spectrums of expensive gear that is kind of pushed as the maximum that will get you to a new place in your playing or help you experience something undoable without it. And just the more I play stuff and like enjoy my own stuff, the more that's not true and I don't like it. Like, I think it all goes back to your preferences, right? I'm a very much Ibanez Wizard super thin neck, flat radius, medium high output pickup guy. And all these super expensive instruments that are kind of touted as the pinnacle of guitar as a, thing are like vintage inspired baseball bat neck type things with super, with more round neck radius and medium low output vintage type electronics, and that's just not for me. And even brands that aren't, where like they do focus on the more shreddy type stuff, like sometimes even the more expensive thing is not the right thing for me. My favorite example for me is my Ibanez RGD, which I've done a video on, and it's the only guitar I bought twice because I had one and I sold it so I could get an Ibanez premium guitar that I was like, well, it's the same thing, so it's going to be like a better instrument that's going to be a cooler vibe, and it's more expensive, and I hated it. And I was really bummed out. Like, it was a beautiful guitar, but it just felt so much different, didn't play the same, didn't sound even close. So I sold that and bought another RGD, and I'm like, this is clearly the Ibanez for me until I get to try something that says otherwise. So I think that's something important to like notice and like think about for yourself on your guitar kind of gear journey is hone in on like what you actually like and don't worry about these exorbitant high-end pieces. I'm not saying they're not amazing. Like, I am 100% sure that the luthiers who make these instruments like put all their love, blood, sweat, and tears into crafting these guitars. But there's kind of this but with that there's like this kind of scale of like it's kind of stops being a tool to make music and kind of delves more into being a piece of art, which is great and totally fine. But is it necessary for me as a player? Like, no. For example, like every Schecter above $500 has stainless steel frets in it now, I'm pretty sure. And the pickups that they're putting in them sound great. They're not even aftermarket a lot of the time. Schecter makes their own pickups and they sound fantastic. And even if you're not looking at over $500, Sterling makes guitars now that have roasted maple necks in them at like a $300, $400 price point. Like, that's insanity. Harley Benton is another great example. Stainless steel frets, roasted maple necks, and they're not expensive. So a lot of these very like premium features that warranted a custom shop experience, like, it just doesn't apply anymore because these premium features are like down at the lowest levels of price now, so you don't really need that. It becomes more about what you like and the playability, and the name on the headstock is mattering less and less and less. I personally find that the zone of like playability and like, you know, good craftsmanship is somewhere between $500 and $2,500 in my personal playing experience. You know, at the lower end, you're going to have to do some extra work, maybe like swap pickups or get locking tuners or whatever. And on top of that, there's so many tools to make you sound like how you want. Whatever plugin or amp sim or pedal that you're using is probably going to get you where you want to be. There's options in so many ways now that there weren't before, that these custom crafted machines just are drifting more towards artwork and like a vibe than like a necessary tool for your craft. So I think it's just important to hone in on what you like and like follow that feeling. Like if you play a certain guitar that has a certain neck shape, follow through on that and like look at things that are similar. If you like a certain pickup, like find that company, find one similar, look for stuff that I'm gonna start over. So I think this following through on what you like, regardless of the price or the name on the headstock, is so much more important and fulfilling than needing one of everything. As a recovering one of everything gear addict type dude. To bring this all to a close, my favorite guitar of the entire show, having tried things that were custom handcrafted by one dude all the way down to mass produced in a factory somewhere, was a $900 LTD black metal guitar that's not even new for 2024. So what I've learned is I need to add an LTD to my collection because that neck profile is incredible. And I just find it interesting that I feel like 1,000-ish is kind of the median price point for a guitar in general. And I just find it interesting that my favorite guitar was that. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I'd really love to know what your guys' favorite guitars are. Like, what really sets a guitar apart for you that makes it feel special? What do you like in your guitar? Like, do you feel the need to like eventually have these super high-end custom shop things that a lot of companies kind of herald as the pinnacle of their craft? Or are you cool with like a middle to low end guitar that you can just use to get the job done? Like, where's that sweet spot for you? So yeah, please comment down below, tell me what you like and what you think. Thank you for watching if you sat through this and listened to me wax poetic about my guitar opinions. I've been growing a lot lately. I'm pushing close to 500. It's not a huge number, I guess, in the grand scheme, but I'm really happy with it. I think it's cool that 500 people want to tune in to see me do anything. So I think that's amazing, and thank you guys if you're one of those about 500. And if you want to become part of that 500, we're almost there. If you want to become part of that 500-ish, you can like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff too. And with that, until the next video.